This presentation introduces the techniques of seed production in vegetable crops. More plants are propagated for food, fiber, and ornamentals from seeds than any other method of propagation. Seed propagation is the cornerstone for producing agronomic, vegetable, forestry, and many ornamental plants. The production of high quality seeds is of prime importance to propagators. In the production of any crop, the cost of the seed is usually minor compared with other production costs. Yes, yet no single factor is as important in determining the success of the operation. Most crop plant seeds are produced by companies that specialize in both plant breeding and seed production. Growers expect these companies to introduce improved cultivars as well as to produce high quality seeds that have good germination characteristics and are of true to type. Now let us see commercial seed production of genetically pure and quality pedigree seed requires high technical skill and specialization. Seed production must be carried out under standard and well organized conditions. The producer should be familiar with genetic and agronomic principles of seed production. This session introduces the basics for producing and harvesting seed from plant material for the purpose of distribution, storage, or sale. In order to produce seed which is true to type, one must have knowledge of how to maintain genetic integrity and reproductive isolation. Let's have a look at ways to protect a plant variety's genetic integrity. It is important to properly identify and label the plants. Plant on clean land which has not been used to grow the same crop in the past cycle. Isolate plants from cross pollination. Plant at least 200 plants for cross pollinated crops and 50 to 100 plants for self pollinated crops. To prevent varieties from crossing, seed producers must use some means of isolation, such as cages, distance isolation, time isolation, or hand pollination, during periods when pollination can occur. Genetic diversity within a variety is maintained by including a minimum number of randomly selected parents into the breeding population. Now let's study how we can isolate plants from reproduction. First is isolation strips. Isolation strips are a plot of a crop which separates seed plots, preventing crossing and mechanical mixtures. This strip would theoretically catch wind-blown pollen and distracts insects from visiting the plots on either of its side. Next is distance isolation. Try to follow this general rule. Selfers should be isolated by at least 150 feet and an isolation strip. Wind pollinated crossers should be separated by at least 1 mile. Insect pollinated crossers should be separated by at least 1/4 mile and some other barrier. Point to be noted here is these figures vary depending on the source of your information. Next is caging and artificial barriers. Cages can be constructed with PVC and fabric row covers. Brown paper or fine meshed bags can also be used. Non-porous bags are not recommended because they can lead to rot. When these methods are used, it is required that either plants are hand pollinated or pollinators must be introduced into the caged or bagged environment. And the last is time isolation. You can plant different varieties of same species in the same year as long as times they flower do not they flower do not overlap. For annuals, this could mean starting one variety early in the season and then starting another several weeks later. For biennials, you could have multiple varieties of the same species growing in the same place but not one that is in its second year and going to flower. Now let's study harvesting methods. Let us study first the harvesting method for dry seeds. Let the plant material completely dry either in the field or after you harvest in mesh bags or on mesh tarps. Harvest when the seeds begin to rattle in their pods, but keep a daily check to ensure the pods don't open and you don't waste any seed. Next is for wet seeds. Harvest entire fruit and scoop out seeds and place in container. Most fruits should be allowed to slightly over ripen before you harvest for seed. Seeds should be harvested from as many plants as possible throughout the growing season to help ensure genetic integrity. Next step is seed cleaning. When seeds come out of the field, they may contain many types of particles. In addition to many different types of particles, the desired seed may have broken or other unviable seed may have get mixed into the lot. By removing these undesirable seeds and particles, you will improve the vigor and germination rate for your lot. When removing the undesirable seed from your seed lot, there are many differences in the seed used to make separations. First is size. The most popular way to separate particles of different sizes is by scalping or sifting, which involves sifting involves dropping out smaller particles by using a screen in which only the particles smaller than the seed are allowed to pass. Both of these separations can be made manually by using separating boxes or mechanically using devices like the Clipper Office Tester. Making length separations can be done by using an indented cylinder or disc machine. Next is weight. This separation is best done with a box fan or an air column or aspirator. These work by passing a stream of air past the seed, allowing the light seed to be blown out of the seed lot. This method will also remove any light shaft that remains within the seed lot. Then is shape. This separation can be done with a spiral separator, in which round seeds will roll faster than flat or non-round seeds. Then is surface texture. Surface may be rough, smooth or pointed. A flat piece of roughed up cardboard works well for this separation. Round seed will roll to the bottom when placed at a slight angle, while flat seed will be caught on the roughed cardboard. Also, a velvet roller works well. And the last is color. This separation is most often done by hand picking. Although there are color separation devices, they are not commonly used by small scale seed producers. Other things to be kept in mind when cleaning the seed are labels, records and mechanical mixing. Affix labels to all seed containers and spaced far enough apart to ensure there is no mechanical mixing of seed lots. Now let's have a look at how to clean dry seeds. Seed pods can be dried then smashed in a number of ways. Stomping and smashing in a threshing box or using a mechanical thresher is common. Once all the seeds are released from the pods, you can separate the seeds from the pods by using hand screens or a clipper mill. A threshing box can be built by making a 3x3 box and placing a corrugated plastic mat at the bottom of it. Once the larger pods are removed, lighter chaff can be removed by winnowing or using an air column. Finer removal of chaff can be accomplished by using a velvet roller. Once all the chaff has been removed, seeds should be stored in a dark, clean, dry, pest-free environment. Now let us see how to clean wet seeds. Seeds can be removed from fruit by cutting the fruit open and scooping out the seeds, or by using a wet vegetable seed separator for tomatoes, peppers and cucumbers. After seeds are removed, some species can benefit from a fermentation process. What is a fermentation process? Fermentation process involves